We need to be ready for what's coming. Some of us think we're ready, but we're almost certainly not. And that goes for all of us, especially those of us who think we have a good idea of where it's headed.
From an AI conference out west, and holy cow, they said to me that what we're going to see in the next 6 months outstrips what we've seen in the last 10 years because the rate of change is on a hockey stick and heading up. And I got to say, I'm pretty up to date on this stuff, and it blew my mind on some of the stuff I was seeing.
It's unexplored territory, but we can look for some hints where finance, commerce, geopolitics, technology, sociology, and history intersect. Let me explain. First off, I'm going to be sharing documentation to support what I'm saying. So, if you're listening, you might want to come back and watch it later if you want some substantiation. But hopefully, I'm just going to be telling you something that you already agree with. That way you don't have to give it any more scrutiny or ask any more questions.
Just like everything else.
But where to start? I assume everyone has a similar level of understanding as I do. So if I gloss over something, feel free to leave a comment about it. That way we can tackle it together. Maybe you know something I don't, or I can help somehow. Who knows? Maybe I can make a piece of content about it. That said, if I have something unique to offer, it's that I'm cursed to recognize complex systems, how they interact with one another, and what the probabilities of certain outputs will be, and usually when.
I think long term, the definition of smart, and my personal definition of smart, is someone who sits at that intersection of being technically astute, but human empathy and understand and having the ability to infer the unspoken, around the corners, the unknowables. People who are able to see around corners are truly smart.
Like I can predict the future. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I hate how often I'm not surprised, and I'm usually early. On top of that, I built my first language model near the turn of the millennium. It isn't something I pursued for a number of reasons, not the least of which is I didn't want to take something I truly liked and turn it into a career because it tickles my tism in just the right way that stuffing it into a box and putting it into someone else's hands would give me the same feeling I'd get if I went to a glory hole and felt a mustache. Instant regret, shock, disgust, guilt, shame, and unsure if I could walk away. No, I'd walk away.
Yeah, for sure.
AI is one of the conversations right now. It's also a giant argument because there's no consensus, for good reason. And the answers to those arguments, that I'm pretty sure are just performative for some of us at this point, are going to have reality-shifting impacts on all of us. And no one knows if those impacts are going to shatter us or not. Who are we? You know who we are. The first thing we need to recognize is that memory prices are crazy. How often do most of us shop for new computers? It isn't something we do every day. Almost 5 years ago, I built a new PC. Still high on GameStop bucks, I spared no expense. Top of the line everything. 128 gigs of RAM was $300 or $400. I saw the same RAM kit for sale for $3,000. Used. GPU? Similar situation. I can get more for it now, all this time later, than I paid for it in the height of the gutless, nutless, GPU scalper COVID apocalypse market. And if that means nothing to you, count yourself as lucky. It's bad.
And that's if you can find it. And be aware, there are so many counterfeits and people getting ripped off right now. It's crazy.
It matters because nearly everything we use, watches, phones, laptops, refrigerators, air purifiers, you get the point. It all needs memory. Memory that is being vacuumed up by the AI build-out. I cannot stress this enough. Buy whatever you can afford now, because I think it's going to be cheaper for us now than it ever will be again. And we're going to need all the help we can get if we're going to attempt to keep up with what's coming. And it is coming, whether we like it or not. We can protest, complain, negotiate, hide, cower, and whatever else we can come up with to oppose it, and it doesn't matter. The battlefield has been chosen, and we're going to need the right tools to safely navigate it. Or don't, whatever. Just know that the state of memory pricing is a prison sex situation. And don't fall for these founders saying chip prices are going to come down. Nvidia is already talking about leaving the consumer market completely. They mean prices for them, not us. Why would they sell you a vid card for your PC for $800 when they can stack 8 of those same vid cards for an enterprise buyer for $85,000? I wouldn't do it either. Consumers are insufferable compared to corpo buyers, and the margins are better. It's good business. But soon, as our benevolent benefactors have been happily hinting to us, it won't matter, because we'll be graciously allowed to use their compute.
Our business, and I think the business of every other model provider, is going to look like selling tokens. You know, they may come from bigger or smaller models, which makes them more or less expensive. They may use more or less reasoning, which also makes them more or less expensive. They may be running all the time in the background trying to help you out. They may run only when you need them if you want to pay less. They may work super hard, you know, spend tens of millions, hundreds of millions, someday billions of dollars on a single problem that's really valuable. But we see a future where intelligence is a utility like electricity or water, and people buy it from us on a meter and use it for whatever they want to use it for. The demand that we see for that seems like it's going to continue to just go like this. And if we don't have enough, we either can't sell it, or the price gets really high and it, you know, kind of goes to rich people, or society makes a bunch of sort of central planning decisions that I think almost always go badly about, you know, we're going to use our limited compute supply for this and not that. So the best thing to me throughout all the history of capitalism, innovation, whatever you want, is to just flood the market.
Not from the kindness of their heart, mind you, but from their $4 trillion infrastructure, sold to us as tokens, which is basically a measurement of energy, and quite possibly the future currency. That's a whole other conversation. Everything we own that uses memory, sent through the data center compute infrastructure, the one that houses the corporate elite frontier AI models. Now, corporate AI is doomed to fail eventually, but in the interim, we're likely to face some pretty sharp consequences.
We're about to be pushed into shark-infested waters while we're menstruating, or menstruating, whatever. We're all in the same boat.
Let's set aside that we're going to pay on a sliding scale to participate in society at any meaningful level. Let's not think too much about the fact that we're going to be paying subscription fees to shop for, buy, transport, store, cook, and eat our breakfast, or pay for someone else to do it for us who will have to pay for all of those things themselves. Let's set aside that we'll have to do the same to educate our kids. That's just the tip of the fucking iceberg. Their nefarious tendrils are going to slink their way into every known and unknown corner of our society, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. Now, this is where we encounter something that gives even me pause. A subscription model for life doesn't really surprise me. I've been expecting that for a long time. We obviously already have one, but the one we have allows for a certain level of autonomy, privacy, freedom. Once we can no longer keep our lives to ourselves, our journals, ideas, dreams, plans, medical records, financial records, communications, business plans, engineering schematics, circuit diagrams, 3D printer templates. You get where I'm going? All of it. All of it sent through an AI filter on the front and the back end of the compute cycle. No more secrets. The level of surveillance provided, combined with the smart nature of our lives, equals holy shit. But I'm sure I'm worried about nothing. They won't monitor our lives, surveil our decisions, track our outcomes, model our behaviors, plot our futures, profile our intentions, manipulate our perceptions, engineer our destinations. Nah, they'll just steal our ideas. But there's another aspect to this. The amount of compute you have access to is going to be a driving factor behind which of the classes you'll be sorted into under the new system. The more compute you have access to, the more meaningful work you'll be qualified for. Nepotism doesn't quite cover this because it's a whole new level of selective ascension. Kleptonism? Digital manifest destiny? Programmative progeny? We'll figure something out as we go along. Now, since I've sweet-talked you a little bit, it's time for the bad news. At least 20% of white-collar jobs will be gone by the end of 2026. But everything has been progressing faster than anticipated, so it could be 80%. No one knows for certain. In the LinkedIn class, they're woefully unprepared for this. These tools are getting so good that if your job is repetitive in any way, you'll be easily replaced. If you code, you're basically already smoked unless you're in the top 15%. They're just having a hiring surge right now because they need to get the infrastructure set up before the next quarterly earnings call. Now, cue in the Well, blue collar work isn't going anywhere. Sure, to an extent. And that extent is probably about 3 more years.
Isn't coming for my job. I'm an HVAC technician. No, it is. It is. Nah, you're all screwed. You better get rich quick, because I literally was working on a unit. I had not a damn clue. It was better off speaking Chinese to me. I had no idea what was going on with it. Zero, zip. I couldn't understand it. See these? I took a picture, took a video, explained what was happening. I gave the symptom. Within 35 seconds, it told me exactly what was wrong with the unit and how to fix it. AI is coming for your job, buddy. It is.
Robotics are progressing faster and faster all the time. For extremely specialized work, maybe 6, 7, maybe. Once we have an AI that designs robots that build case-specific, purpose-built robots, it's over. They'll work 24/7 and change their own batteries, never make a measurement mistake, never cut corners unless they're programmed to. Their tools will be built into them, for crying out loud. It isn't even a question other than how long. On top of the robotics crunch, soaring unemployment will lead to an exodus to the trades, and that'll only serve to accelerate the build-out. A more competitive labor market means deflating wages in a monetary environment that's just fucking oppressive. Unless you've got it like that, then you're good, as long as you are. Now, there's a lot of talk about UBI being necessary soon, and we hear rumors telling us to prepare for a post-financial system.
My prediction is that work will be optional.
Optional.
Optional. So,
We'll take that.
yeah. I mean, it'll be like playing sports or a video game or something like that. If you want to work, in the same way, like you can go to the store and just buy some vegetables, or you could grow vegetables in your backyard. It's much harder to grow vegetables in your backyard, but some people still do it because they like growing vegetables. That will be what work is like, optional.
Something will need to happen in the rapidly changing employment environment, that's for sure. But I see this really disturbing trend emerging. You see, people are operating under the assumption that they'll be a part of the emerging future of advancement, abundance, and potential immortality. I cannot for the life of me think of any good reason why.
But there's nothing to worry about, because help is coming at the speed of bureaucracy.
The ruling elite have shown us abundantly, all throughout history, that once they get what they want, they easily dispose of the means it took to procure it, or anything that might be standing in the way of them acquiring it. In this case, it's the human resource, you and me. They've openly advertised to us what they want. A global population of 500 million, held in balance. Truth be told, I can't really blame them. I've seen the way a lot of us are acting and treating one another, and Lord help me control these dark thoughts. That's just it, isn't it? We're sitting on a powder keg right now, and we all know it. We're getting ready to do most of the job for them. That is, of course, if World War III doesn't get us first. I think we can all feel that one coming, too. But at least there'll be plenty of military jobs for all the unemployed people who need a way to feed their family. All of this will be top-notch entertainment for those who have their own bunkers, or ranches, or space stations, or whatever. I can't imagine how televised the first truly smart war is going to be. There's a really slim chance we can make it through this together. But I'm afraid that is going to take a level of self-awareness and cooperation that is beyond most people, in this moment at least. We can't exclude the infinitesimal chance that we'll have a benevolent benefactor working for us. And we'd better hope it's the one building mass drivers on the moon. I've never met any of these guys, so I don't know what to tell you. But I won't depend on it. I trust any of them about as much as a fart after a 96-hour Mexican tap water fast. I imagine that this is all making people feel pessimistic, fatalist, defeatist, and many other types of ways that I can't possibly list. The truth of the matter, for me, is quite the opposite. I'm insanely optimistic, and I truly believe in the depths of my soul this is a huge opportunity for us. You see, we've been living in a broken system for as long as most of us can remember, aside from maybe a select few. And if it doesn't seem broken to you yet, give it a few months. You'll get a taste of what most of us have been dealing with our whole lives, and we have options. All is not lost. The first step in building a new system one that actually serves us instead of exploiting us, is the messy demolition of the old one. This is going to do that. If we can survive it, but surviving it will mean unity with people that many are unwilling to even entertain a conversation with. There's a reason why our overlords have chosen to divide us on matters where we are more or less split down the middle, rather than focusing on making change on the things we can actually agree on. Working together is the only path forward for us. Keeping us divided is a matter of survival for them. Honestly, making content like this was never on my bingo card. So, if it made you think, or mad, or whatever else that struck a chord in you, and you wouldn't mind doing a little bit more of that, please like and subscribe. Comment with questions and critiques. I'll do my best to respond to all of them.